The iPhone 17 Pro and the iPhone 17 Pro Max have incredible cameras, especially when it comes to video. I mean, the ability to shoot ProRes RAW, as well as several other flavors of ProRes, H.265, H.264, and even OpenGate, gives creators a lot of flexibility when it comes to making content. But if you want to take your filmmaking, social media content, or home videos to the next level, I'm going to go over 10 accessories that'll help you do that. Let's go ahead and kick it off with number 1, which is from one of my favorite brands, Hohem. It's the new Hohem iSteady V3 Ultra, and it's going to take your mobile filmmaking to the next level. One of my favorite features about this gimbal is how small it is. It's ultra compact, about the size of a soda can whenever it's folded, but despite that size, it has some seriously smart tech inside. Plus, the motors on this gimbal are really strong. They support up to 400 grams, which is 100 grams more than both of its main competitors. This easily covers the largest flagship phones, including foldable phones, and it runs up to 9 hours on a single charge with about a 2.5 hour recharge time. But what really separates the Hohem iSteady V3 Ultra from its competitors is its smart features. First and foremost, the multimodal AI tracking is unreal on this thing. It can follow people, pets, vehicles, objects, even hand gestures with its on-device 8th gen AI tracker. It's totally hands-free, so it keeps you in the frame automatically whether you're filming yourself, tracking motion, or just capturing family moments. You can control tracking by using hand gestures. There's a hand gesture for starting and stopping tracking. There's even a gesture for controlling the framing of the image. It also features 360-degree infinity pan tracking, which is great because it's never going to lose track of your movement as you walk around the gimbal since there's no endpoint. Okay, maybe I lied a little bit in the beginning. This might be my favorite feature about this gimbal, especially when you consider its price point. There's a detachable touchscreen remote that has a range of 10 meters. This isn't just a typical shutter remote either. It has a full 1.22-inch color touchscreen with live AI feed preview, so you can see yourself even though you're behind the camera. You can also start and stop tracking straight from the remote. So you can double tap on a subject, draw a box around them, or use face tracking and lock on that way. There's also a ton of settings built into the remote that you can control. Pretty much everything that you can do inside the app, you can do right here on the remote, meaning that you don't even need to use the app if you don't want to. You can use any camera app that's on your phone, including the native app, or you can use a third-party app like the Blackmagic camera app. Now, if you're a selfie type of person, it actually features a telescopic extension rod that extends up to 205 millimeters for creative high and low angles. Plus, it has a fold-out tripod on the bottom, so you don't have to bring around tripod feet or anything like that. But if you want to extend it even further, they do have a nice quarter 20 on the bottom for attaching to a larger tripod. I mean, the gimbal is awesome. It has a built-in magnetic fill light with 3 different color modes, cool, warm, and natural, and you can go all the way up to 110 lux of brightness. Now, like I said, you don't have to use the Hohem app if you don't want to, but it is a good idea to keep it on your phone for updating the gimbal, as well as checking out some of their smart motion templates or some of their tutorials. Whether you want smoother shots, smart AI tracking, the ability to frame yourself even though you're using your rear cameras, or just a fully loaded mobile rig that fits right in your pocket, the Hohem iSteady V3 Ultra is a great option. You know, one problem that I have with shooting video on my phone is that it doesn't feel like a camera. It still feels like a phone. I miss the grip, I miss the tactile buttons and the extra functionality like being able to store everything to external media. Maybe it's just me. If it is, let me know in the comments. But if it's not, and this is also you, this Freewell kit is going to change the game for you because it did for me. The Freewell kit that I have here consists of a few different parts. We have the grip, the SSD, and the hub. Then we have some ND filters. Then we have our anamorphic filters. And then we have our phone case. Let's start with the phone case. The phone case is made of like a carbon fiber material. It feels really good. The case also has access to the camera control button here. It works great. And overall, it's just a solid case. The next part of this setup is the grip. And this thing is awesome. First and foremost, we have an Arca Swiss plate built into the grip down here on the bottom. Now, this might look like an all-in-one piece, but the SSD actually pops off like so. And you can actually use this without the grip if you just want to have like a more lightweight setup because it is MagSafe and it just goes right onto the back of the case like that. Right here, we have access to a PD 60 watt port so you can charge your phone while you're also using the SSD, but you also have a data port up here for hooking up a microphone. And then of course, this port right here is used to connect to your iPhone to give you access to the SSD. And what's great about this SSD is this is also magnetic, so this pops right off. And you can see we have a full-size NVMe inside of here, and this supports up to 8 terabytes. So this is where your phone goes. So if I flip this over here, I can just take my phone and then put it into the grip like this. And if you wanted to, you could take this tool and then loosen up this screw, which I'll do real quick. Now that I have the screw out, I can actually pop off this clip and I can use the phone without the grip while still maintaining access to the cold shoe on the top and the cold shoe on the bottom. This is also rotatable, so if you want to shoot vertical, you just simply rotate it. It's really solid. Now let's talk about what I think is the funnest part of this setup, which are the filters and the lenses. Beginning with the filters, you get this nice travel case right here. Everything is nice and organized. These are drop-in style filters, but you do get a variable ND, which is basically your base, and then the other filters just slide right in. So we'll go ahead and pop this on the iPhone. It just attaches magnetically. You do have to be using their case, and it just snaps right on. And then you have your variable ND right here, which works great. And then you have your drop-in filter. So we'll go ahead and pull out one of the filters. We'll pull out this one right here, which is the glow mist, and it just slides right in to the top like so. And all of these filters are beautiful. Like, I tested them all. We have a glow mist, we have the soft gradient, and then we also have an ND32. If the variable is not enough, this will definitely give you some more ND. And I gotta say, like, I'm really impressed with the filters, especially the glow mist and ND combination. Like, it just produces beautiful footage. Now let's talk about the anamorphic lenses, which are by far my favorite part of this kit. This is a collaboration between Stephen Divish, I think that's how you say his name, my bad if I butchered it, and Freewell. And these are extremely unique. I've never seen smartphone anamorphic lenses quite like this. Again, just like the ND filters or the filter kit, these are also drop-in. This is the actual anamorphic lens. And in order to get the flare, you drop in the specific flare that you're looking for. And if I want to attach it to my phone, rather than it just clipping on magnetically, because this is pretty heavy, you just kind of screw it on like so. And then once it's on, you use the bubble level at the top to level it out in order to get the most natural looking flare. In terms of the kit, you get a blue flare, you get a gold flare, and you get a neutral flare. And all of these look absolutely insane. Like, it's crazy the footage I was able to capture using this anamorphic kit. It just looks like it came from a mirrorless or DSLR camera. Really impressed with it. That's what it looks like when everything is put together. You can attach ND filters to the anamorphic lenses. I honestly love that Freewell kit. Like, it's my favorite accessory that I own for my iPhone. I use it all the time when recording B-roll or short form videos for TikTok and Instagram. But if it's too much for you, like say you don't want the grip, all you want is an SSD and a hub, that's where this comes in. This right here is the Charge Disk Pro, and it's a pretty unique SSD because not only does it give you external storage, but it also acts as a hub of some sort. You can see it has a transparent design. The storage is not swappable, so you cannot upgrade this yourself, but it does go all the way up to 4 terabytes. It just plugs right into the bottom of your phone, and it is MagSafe. And then you can see on the side here, we have a USB 2.0 port, a USB 3.0 port, and an HDMI port that supports 4K up to 144 hertz. It also has a built-in fan to keep the SSD nice and cool, so you don't have to worry about any overheating, and you can manually turn on that fan at any time just by pressing that button. And you can also turn on and off the SSD with this switch. There's going to be times where you wish you had some type of mounting system in order to get those epic dancing videos, the film a time lapse, or a talking head portion like I am now. And that's where these two accessories come in. Let's start with the budget option, which is from Ulanszi. This is the MT84. You can pick this up for like 20 or 30 bucks, and for the price, it's really hard to beat. Basically, this is a monopod, but they call it a tripod. It has MagSafe at the top. This can rotate. So if I pull it out like so, and then rotate it around, you can see you can spin it in 4 different directions. And then of course, this does also bend. So if you want to do like a top-down shot, it is possible. It also has a built-in Bluetooth remote that just pops in and out magnetically. You can also use this as a selfie stick, and it gets really far out there. So if you're into like super wide selfies, you could definitely do that with this. I mean, for 20 or 30 bucks, you're getting a solid portable little selfie stick tripod combo right here. Now, if you're looking for something a little bit more unique and definitely a lot more versatile, this might be the tripod for you. This is the Silence Corner Mamba pod. And I've never seen a tabletop tripod quite like this. What makes this really unique is all the versatility behind it. So you have tons of quarter 20s right here for mounting accessories. And this thing is solid. Like, it is made of a solid metal construction. We have little buttons right here to spread the legs out if you need to get it nice and wide and possibly lay all the way flat like so. These can be adjusted by flipping out this and then loosening it and then flip them out, and now you have a clamp. And you can clamp this on practically anything. There's so many different things that you could do because of this clamp design, and it just makes this one of the most versatile, multifunctional tripods that I have ever seen. And when you're done, you just loosen it like so to drop the clamps, and then this just flips back in, and there you go. I bring this with me on practically every trip, and it's great. Your audio quality is arguably more important than your video quality when it comes to both long form and short form content. I mean, if your audio sounds great, but your video looks like butt, people will still watch it. And that's where these two accessories come in. Let's start with the more affordable option, which is the Lark M2S. And this was my go-to before I picked up this one. Not only did I use this on smartphones, but I also used it on my cameras. And that's because of how small it is. This is the charging case, and you can see it is very, very compact. If I flip it open, we have our receiver for the camera right here. Our 3.5 is right there. We have our dial for gain, and then we have our pairing button, and then a USB-C port for charging. Then we have our smartphone receiver right here that just plugs into the bottom of your phone. You have a pairing button down here that also controls your noise cancellation. And then we have our transmitters, which are so tiny. They just clip on your clothes like so, and that right there is the microphone. This is the battery. That is how small these mics are. We have a button right here used for pairing as well as for controlling the noise cancellation. They give you great battery life, and you can pick it up for like $100. But if you want to step your quality up to the next level, this is the new Hollyland Lark Max 2, and it has so many great features. So first and foremost, you can pick up this entire kit for like less than $250. And what you get with this kit is the charging case, which is a lot bigger than the Lark M2S, but you can see we have a much bigger receiver right here because this is more for professionals, has a touchscreen built into it. We have our smartphone receiver right here, which is very similar in design to the Lark 2S. And then we have our transmitters. These have built-in storage, and they have 32-bit float recording. So if you just wanted to use this on its own without using any of the receivers and record your audio directly, you could do that. You have a record button right there to start and stop recording. You have your noise cancellation button right there, as well as your power and pairing button. You also get a ton of accessories in the box, including your 3.5mm cable for connecting to a camera. You have your charging cable. You have 2 lavalier microphones, and you have to use this little included adapter to use them. So this just plugs right into the bottom of the transmitter like so, and then you can see it gives you a 3.5 right there, and then you just connect your lavalier microphone. Then you get an additional 3.5mm cable for connecting to a camera that, say, is a little bit smaller. Then you have dead cats for both the lavalier microphones and for the transmitters themselves. You also have these little magnetic clips right here that allow you to magnetically attach these instead of clipping them to your clothing. The only downside to this is none of these accessories fit inside the charging case, so you will always have to carry this little pouch with you, making it a little bit more bulky than some of the other options. But the biggest reason why I recommend this over any of the other mics on the market is the fact that you also get this. These are wireless earbuds that connect directly to this receiver, and it allows you to monitor your audio wirelessly. So these are not only great for just checking your audio levels, but also to make sure that you don't have any interference messing with the signal. Let me give you a quick demo of what the audio sounds like from both of these, and you can let me know in the comments what you think. So here's an example of the Lark Max 2 using just the receiver. It's a pretty windy day, and there's quite a bit of noise happening right now. This is with noise cancellation. Now we'll go ahead and turn off noise cancellation so you can hear that. So now we have noise cancellation turned on. Again, I'm using the Lark Max 2. It's a really windy day. I have the dead cat on. Let me know what you think of the audio and how does it compare to without noise cancellation. So here's an example of what the Lark M2S sounds like, and I have the dead cat on. It's pretty windy, and this is without noise cancellation. Now I'm gonna go ahead and turn on noise cancellation so you can get a sample of that as well. So now here's an example with noise cancellation turned on. Again, it's pretty windy and I have the dead cat on. There's a little bit of noise going on around me. Let me know what you think of the quality. There's also 2 levels of noise cancellation. This is on the low setting. The iPhone 17 series has an incredible front-facing camera. I mean, not just in quality, but with center stage, which is something that every smartphone should have. I mean, it just works so well. But if you want the best quality, you still need to use the main sensor on the back of the phone, which can be tedious because you can't see yourself. But that's where this accessory comes in, which is game-changing. This little thing right here is from a company that goes by the name of Funnest. I think that's how you say it. And it is a display for your smartphone. Now, I've used tons of other wireless smartphone displays that all have the same problem, and that is lag and delay. And this one has 0 lag and delay. So to use it, you just MagSafe it onto the back of your phone like so. You plug this into your USB-C port. I have my camera already loaded right here. Go ahead and switch over to video. You have an on and off switch. We'll go ahead and switch it to on. It takes a few seconds to boot up. But once it does, you'll get a live view feed of whatever it is your rear camera is seeing, and you can see there is no delay. It has an OLED display. It gets really bright, so you'll be able to see yourself outdoors. The display quality is great. It also comes with this little Bluetooth button, which is a shutter remote, and it just attaches magnetically to the bottom of this. This is a great way to use the main sensor on your iPhone and get the best quality video while recording yourself. If you want to get those epic hands-free POV shots, but don't want to spend the money on a GoPro or an Insta360 Go series, you can just use your phone and pair it with this. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen these floating around. I mean, they're not new by any means, and I actually own like 4 of these. However, this is the best one that I have ever used, and it's the latest model from Teley. It's MagSafe up here, so if you want to mount your phone, you just take it, and it just snaps right on. And there you go. There's a button that you press, which will eject one of the sides, and then you just put it around your neck. This is malleable, so you can bend it in any form to get it right on your chest. But what makes this one better than the other ones that I have is this strap. So you put this strap around you, and it basically just secures it to your chest, so it's not going to bounce up and down as you move. Also, you get tons of extension with this mount right here, so you can do top down basically while it's on your neck, and this part rotates, so if you wanted to film your face for whatever reason, you could, just by rotating it like that. If you want to mount your phone on practically any surface that's reasonably large, or you're into creating car content, whether it's vlogging on the interior or getting some awesome exterior shots, this next accessory is for you. But I gotta admit, it's kind of a hodgepodge of different parts, but it all begins with this suction cup. This is a suction cup from Tilta. It's part of their Hydra filmmaking kit, which is used to mount high-end cinema cameras to cars. But you can pick up a single suction cup like this one for about $100, so you don't need to buy the full kit. You can pick it up in a few different types. They have a multi-plate type, which has a bunch of quarter 20s and other mounting points. Then you have a NATO rail like I have here, or you can pick it up with just the base and it has no mounting points whatsoever. I also have a Falcam NATO rail to f/22 receiver mounted directly onto the NATO rail on the suction cup, and this allows me to use my f/22 action camera mount with a ball head and a action camera smartphone clip that I can easily slide in and out because of that quick release receiver. This gives me tons of adjustability, so if I slide it in, you can see I can position the ball head in any way, and I also get adjustability with the smartphone clip. But what makes this kit special and on the pricier side is the fact that this suction cup has a built-in battery, and it allows it to suction to whatever surface you have this pressed up against, and it will maintain that suction by automatically adjusting while you're using it. To give you an example of what it sounds like, I'll go ahead and hit that red button to power it on. It'll automatically engage. You hear the motors there. I'll go ahead and press this up against this table and let it perform its suctioning. All right, it's done. If I try to remove it, you can see that thing is on there solid. I'm actually shaking the camera right now. If I want to remove it, I'll just power it off by double pressing the red button. And then there's a little lip over here on the corner. I just get my fingers underneath it and then pull up, and that's it. There's also a little display on the side that gives you all of your status information, including battery life. And because this thing is so strong, you can virtually stick it to any surface that's smooth. That includes walls, ceilings, furniture, appliances, and of course your car. You do have to check on battery life occasionally, because if it gets low on battery life, it's going to definitely have an impact on the suction, but you can also run power directly into it thanks to the USB-C port, so you can have basically infinite usage of this thing as long as you're getting wall power of some sort. Well, there you go. That was 10 accessories to help you take your mobile filmmaking to the next level. These will not only help you expand your creativity, but also help you get the best quality possible out of your iPhone 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max. Now, if you're interested in picking up any of these items, you can find links with up-to-date pricing down in the description as well as the pinned comment. I didn't talk about pricing in this video because Black Friday is coming up, so pricing tends to fluctuate during that period. So if you want the most recent pricing update, just check down there. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up. And outside of that, I'll see you beautiful people in the next one.